Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here with Abner Mares, who takes on Jesus Cuellar, coming up on Showtime December 10th at the Galen Center in USC. And before we get into the fight, Abner, happy birthday. I saw that yesterday you had a birthday. You turned 31, right?
31.
How's it feel to be 31?
Feels good, man. Honestly, I thought I was going to be depressed. Thought I was going to feel old, but no. I mean, obviously being in the gym for a whole year and just being active makes you feel young. Honestly, I don't feel 31. And I mean, 31 is not a bad number. Still young. Still in my 30s. And I feel good, brother. I feel really, really good. And thank you. Thank you so much.
I felt depressed when I turned 31, but it puts a lot of things in perspective. Did it at all make you approach your boxing career differently, seeing that you're now coming into your 30s?
Yes and no. Yes, of course, because obviously we know that boxing is a short career, obviously based on your age too. If you're in your 30s, most of the people see it as, almost time to hang the gloves. But I see it as my second wind. We have a lot of champions out there that are, they're plus 30s. And I feel really just motivated, honestly, like I just mentioned, my second wind. And I feel rejuvenated. That's the word.
You're lucky you don't got any canas. I started getting canas when I was like in my late 20s. So this fight, it's like your third camp for a guy. And Lewis off camera was telling me that this has only happened to you once before with that Becco. Is it kind of a weird feeling knowing that you're training for a guy for such a long period of time?
It is not weird, but it was frustrating at the beginning. Maybe not the first time, but the second time, obviously, got frustrated. Frustrating knowing that you did a full camp and weren't able to showcase, what you worked on and put into your work, and obviously not getting paid. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I've been unemployed for a whole year, but luckily here we are. We're fighting December 10th, and I'm just happy. I'm just happy that again things happen for a reason, and I think that reason was to get the opportunity to get to know one another. Meaning my coach, Robert Garcia, and myself. I mean, who gets a whole year to train for a guy, a certain opponent, and a new coach. So you will see a different Abner Mares December 10th. A lot of people just get new trainers and be like, oh, you will see the difference. I'm with the new coach. And I got a whole year to train with Robert Garcia. We are going to demonstrate finesse. I'm really, really blessed to be with such a coach, and he taught me a lot. And I mean, he could tell you, we just did 12 rounds yesterday of sparring with ease, honestly, and feel really, really confident.
Looking at that dynamic, most fighters, when they get a new coach, they don't get that time. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise. The other thing, though, seeing that you've spent such a long time training for this guy, do you feel like you know him front and back and all his little nuances? Like when you're in camp, do you have to train like the same thing, or is it like you're changing it up a bit?
You change it up, definitely. Even with the sparring partners I had, I believe I've only one guy that I have all three training camps that I had, and obviously at first it was kind of difficult. Then I got to know him, and then it was easy. And then we stopped camp and we started all over, and it was difficult again. I'm like, wait a minute, why is it so difficult? If I had no problem with this guy, but it was just knowing that it's a softball, and obviously I took some time off and went back to camp, and again I'm getting ready for a style, not a certain guy. Jesus Cuellar is gonna bring in different arsenal. Obviously he might do something different. Obviously he's Freddie Roach now. So we're not getting ready in particular for a certain style. We're just getting ready for softball and for someone strong, just as Jesus Cuellar is, and nothing more. I think we are ready. A lot of people ask me if I feel that I have an advantage knowing that Robert trained him for some time. No, and we're not taking that in perspective either. Coach, it's like, we're just training like any other fight. You do what you do. You got the talent, and there's no like, we know this, he does that. No, we're not taking that. So we're just going in there and doing our work.
When you fought Leo Santa Cruz, a lot of people were expecting you to use your natural skills as a boxer and move around and use your speed. You got lulled into his fight. Now, learning from that and coming into this fight, I would say from the outside looking in, people were going to say, Abner, you need to box and you need to not get engaged with his type of fight and really exchange with them. What changes have been made to make sure that you don't do the same thing that you did in that other fight coming into this fight?
Just that, man. Learning experience, man. You live and learn. I think I learned a lot in that fight. You learn from every single fight. And I think it's one of those fights where you don't lose. I always said it, against Leo, I lost, yes, on paper. But in reality, I gained a lot. I gained experience. I gained confidence. And I know I'm at this level. And definitely, like you mentioned, I think I could have boxed differently. I could have done things differently and easier for me and win the fight. Because I know I could beat Leo. But I didn't. I chose to stay toe-to-toe, please the crowd, and make it into an ugly fight and a difficult fight for myself. And an interesting fight for the fans because at the end of the day, it was a good fight. But with Robert, he's just taught me that, man. He's just like, yo, Abner, you know what? You got the skills, man. You're wise. You're a good fighter. Just use them. And believe me, man, I'm having fun. When it comes to sparring, I'm having fun. Training, I'm having fun. I'm just using natural talent. So we plan on doing that. If we get caught up in certain combination, then I end up staying, toe to toe with this guy. I'm ready for it too, but we know that that's not the plan. But if it happens, it's gonna happen, and we're ready for either way.
You mentioned it earlier that you haven't been able to fight for, I want to say, a year and 4 months now, right? I know you're on like the upper end of fighters. You were a former world champion. You get paid really well, but is the financial part difficult, not having to fight for that year and some months? So was it difficult on you on that end?
No, you know what? I've been fortunate enough to have a great team behind me, and it did not hurt me on that side. Thank God. I have my investments here and there, and obviously I'm good. I'm good on that side. It was just the knowing that you were fighting so close, and obviously, and you get a certain number, and then you don't. And I said it on cameras. I believe it was at the press conference for this fight. It's like getting blue balls, you're there, boo. You get turned on and nothing happens.
So close, and then
so close and nothing, exactly. So that's a perfect way to put it.
Isn't that the worst feeling in the world, man? You come off, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get some, and then you're like at the end of the night, you're like, God.
Yeah, man. So it was just that.
Abner, I just lost my train of thought with that thing. Speaking of this fight also as well, to you, what it would mean to be world champion again and get back to that? Because I know a lot of people said, hey, since the Gonzalez fight, they say, Abner's not the same. He was at his best then, and now he's been really inconsistent. What would it mean to achieve that, and do you feel that would shut people up?
Well, first of all, I'm not doing that, or I don't think it. I'm not doing it personally to shut anyone up. I'm doing it because I know I have the potential to become world champion again. And doing that, I think, yes, it will put me in a different level, different platform, meaning that I will have the opportunity to fight bigger and better fights. I will be world champion again. So I think it's just that. Going back to the Johnny Gonzalez, it takes. Losing period. Takes away a lot from the fighter. But I'm coming back, man. Believe me, I'm in my second win. I feel rejuvenated. I feel good, man. I feel really, really good. So I can't wait for December 10th. Put everything to work and really showing the people that I'm back. Pretty much.
The target, if you win this fight after, would be the winner of Frampton Santa Cruz, right?
Yes, sir. That's the target. Leo against Frampton, the winner of that definitely has to face the winner of this fight.
All right, Abner, I can't wait. You always put on great fights. That last fight that you had with Leo was one of the most exciting atmospheres I've felt in person. So if you bring just half of that in there, atmosphere-wise, it's going to be a great fight over at the Galen Center. This man right here challenging Jesus Cuellar for another world title on Showtime, December 10th.